So the very first line of the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu's book of Taoist wisdom, is usually translated along the lines of, the Tao which can be spoken of is not the true Tao. The way that can be spoken of is not the true way. And what that points to is that the most detailed map of Rome can't give you an experience of visiting Rome. But that's not to say that there isn't incredible value in a detailed map of Rome if it gets you to Rome and helps you explore it. But there is a point where you have to put down the map and explore the city. And the reason, to my mind, that so many spiritual teachers spoke in metaphors and parables and not in factual sounding things like, well, turn left at meditation, go down mindfulness, and then about halfway down mindfulness, you'll find enlightenment. It's never talked about that way. Because those are descriptions of form, and that which we are seeking and that in us which seeks are formless. They're before the form. So metaphor is a way of evoking the feeling of something, which is a little bit easier for us to not take literally. One of my favorite definitions of fundamentalism when it comes to religion or spirituality is that fundamentalism is literalism. That if you take any spiritual teaching literally, it becomes dogma, it becomes limitation, it becomes good, bad, right, wrong, it becomes often quite violent. But when you see that spiritual teaching is metaphoric by nature, then instead of trying to go, well, so when the Red Sea parted, how wide was it, and how many people across were they, and did they get wet up to their ankles? Was it like completely dry? Or instead of going more and more into the detail of it, it evokes the miraculous, a sense of wonder, a sense of awe, that something seemingly impassable can be passed through. That something that would seem to be an impenetrable obstacle to truth, to enlightenment, to the promised land, through faith in this instance, through prayer, can be pushed aside to move through. Now, if that metaphor evokes hope and a sense of possibility, it's done its job, and it's time to put it away. If it doesn't, then it wasn't the best metaphor for this person in this moment. Buddha talked about that if you take a boat across the river, the boat was incredibly valuable. But to continue to carry the boat with you when you're back on dry land makes no sense. Now, I'm sure there were people who took that literally, went, okay, so we should take a boat and but if you look at it not literally, but metaphorically, it just points to the fact that something can be incredibly useful along the way, but doesn't need to be worshipped, doesn't need to be carried forward beyond its usefulness. And I would say metaphors are a perfect example of that. Metaphors are boats that take us across the river of intellect into pure experience, pure spirit. But if we try to keep carrying them on the other side, they go from useful to burdensome. So I love metaphor. And I've learned to let them do what they're for and to not to ask more of them than that.